You can create invoices directly in Swell Enterprise. A really cool feature about Swell Enterprise is that when a client views your or pays your invoice, that you're able to see exactly when they do that. Before you get started creating invoices, it would be a good idea to visit the line items section under invoices or estimates, so you can go ahead and create these billable line items, or you can just add a new one on the fly directly from the invoices page. So under invoices, click on new invoice, and then if you've uploaded a logo, you'll see your logo here, but if you've not done that yet, you'll just see the text version. You can update your logo from the company settings section right here. Once on this page, you can choose to select a client. In a previous tutorial, we went ahead and showed how to use the task timer and add that time to an invoice. So you could see I selected a client that had some time that hasn't been billed yet, so I can go ahead and click Add That Now. And now I have that as a line item in my invoice. You can go ahead and give it a starting invoice number, and then each invoice you create is going to auto increment from that last number you've created. If you use purchase orders, you could choose to enter a purchase order right here. Adding and removing line items is as simple as clicking on the plus or minus icon on the right hand side. If I wanted to add another line item, I simply choose that and you can see all the information pops up. From this screen I could choose to change the price, or maybe I want to change the quantity, and as I do that, the totals update in real time. If I have taxes, I can check to apply taxes to this. And then lastly, I can add notes to the client specific to this invoice if I wish. You could choose to give this invoice a due date. It will automatically be set for today, to be sent today, but you could choose to save it for the future. So once I'm done adding all of my information, I just click on Save. Once the invoice saves, you should see the option to where you can generate a PDF. You can send this invoice directly to the client. They'll receive a unique URL that they can use, or you can manually enter a payment if they don't choose to pay you online through our integrations. You can also view the history, any payments attached to this invoice, and lastly, any custom fields that you may have created for invoices. So I'm going to go ahead and send this and do a test, and I'll check back momentarily. So I just sent myself a test invoice, and you can see here where I got the email notification. And I can also click on this invoice as a client, and it'll show me the totals, the line items, any of the information you used, and it will also track it in Swell Enterprise if the client has viewed the invoice. So if I open this up in a new tab, when I click on the invoice as the client, I see all the information that I used when creating this. And I can also choose to generate a PDF from this. I can view the payment terms if you've entered that in the company settings section, or I can choose to pay this invoice. Once I pay this invoice, my totals will be shown, and I'll get a notification as the Swell Enterprise Administrator that my invoice has been paid. Switching back over to the invoice, I can see here where the client has viewed the invoice. I can see when I originally sent the invoice and, of course, when the invoice was originally created. If I had entered a payment for this invoice, the payment and the amount will be available to me here and any notes from the client.